We started to prepare the fender install. We cleaned the fender, used some rubbing alcohol to clean it all up to get it ready for the adhesive so the fender flare will stick nice and tight. We're ready to install the flare now. We're going to use the turn signal hole on the side to line it up. That's our key point to make sure this thing goes on straight. The next step in our installation is to install this little corner piece. It'll fit right in here and complete the fender install. We've now put on the rear fender as well. It's basically the same application as the front. There are some screws, both front and rear, that attach to the bottom, which we're going to do now. Okay, we moved to the Bestop tire carrier right now. We removed the factory assembly from it and disconnected the third brake light. We now have gone and set up this third brake light assembly on the tire carrier here to make sure this is adjusted for the correct height of the tire we're using. We started the assembly of the Bestop tire carrier here on the Jeep. One of the things to take consideration is we are putting a trail rack that will be above the spare tire. So that piece is actually going to go behind our existing one. So we don't want to do this twice, so we put the two together to make it all one unit. The first basic step obviously was taking the original tire carrier off the vehicle, unplugging the wiring harness, and then we centered the position for the third brake light mount on the new tire for its tire size. We also took into account that we're going to have the basket rack on here as well, so that's what these pieces are on here for. Otherwise we wouldn't have these, we'd have another piece that went on here. These spreader bars that go on here to help support the tire as well. Once that's all put together, it simply bolts onto the vehicle. There's no drilling or anything required on that. We now have the factory taillight assembly reinstalled on the vehicle. We chose to run the wire through the assembly and up through the center here, so we did have to put a little bit of an extension on this. Essentially 2 wires, pretty straightforward work to do. Not too hard. But we're all set to put the tire on it now and then put the rack on. We've now completed the install of the tailgate rack assembly and have attached the basket that goes along with it. This will hold up to 75 pounds of gear along with your spare tire. From our earlier starting point of having these brackets installed with the tire carrier, we put the vertical poles on here and then the horizontal pieces to attach to the basket and just simply bolted the basket right on top. We've added the Bestop tire cover on the spare tire, give it extra protection from the sun, give it that finished look. The tire cover is available in many different sizes to fit your needs and colors to match your vehicle. We're here to talk about the Bestop slider step install. It's made of 3/16 thick heavy duty steel with a 2.5 inch diameter tube step. This doubles as a Nerf bar and a step. The installation is pretty straightforward. Let's take a look and see how this is done. We've mounted 3 brackets on here. Pretty easy to do. Remove some of the body putty in a couple areas and essentially screw in a couple bolts in each spot. Started the pre-assembly of the slider step. Ran the spring mechanism through the tubing. Put the 2 bushing pieces in each side and ran the bolts through. Pretty straightforward assembly. Now we're ready to put it on the Jeep. That completes the installation of our Bestop products. Be sure to vote online at 4WDJeepGiveaway.com for a chance to win this great Jeep.